Hey YouTube, this is Karen Arnold's World. Came back to talk to you all a little bit more. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. It is pretty here in Kentucky where I'm located at. It's like 81 degrees. Ask everybody to tag, share, like, follow, hit that notification bell. That way you get all uploaded content. Just want to come on and chit chat with you all to let you all know some of the things that's going to be going on with the Karen Arnold's World. If you have not shared to your family and friends, ask you all to do so. Let them know about the Karen Arnold's World. I wanted to get up and personal with you all. Some of you all know or have followed me for a little bit, and some of you all haven't. Um, I want to reintroduce myself to give you all a little background of me and where I come from and what I have endured. So my name is Karen Arnold. I am an author. My book has been out ever since last June, I think. It's about being in an 18-year abusive marriage. It's called A Battered Woman That Survived. I was prophesied to write this book to let every woman, man, boy, and girl understand about abuse. As society, it's labeled as only, they think only women is the one that gets abused, but it's men as well. But I just wanted to come on here and just speak a little bit about what the Karen Arnold's world is doing and what the battered woman is doing, and so on and so forth. I live here in a town. It's called Glasgow, Kentucky. I don't know if you ever heard it, but it's between Nashville and Louisville, Kentucky. Nashville, Tennessee. Um, I have two kids. I got three grandkids. I've been married this go around, which is 5 years, to my current husband. Very happy. He is a very respectful, honorable man, as I should put him. Um, Treats me like a queen, or treats me the way I wanted to be treated. That every woman should be treated, or man, with respect. A battered woman that survived. What made me name my book A Battered Woman That Survived? My book, I don't have it on me. It's on my desk, but you can purchase this book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple Store, iTunes, Target, and also Walmart. So when I was thinking about the name of the book, A Battered Woman That Survived, I survived 18 years of abuse. It was mentally, verbally, spiritually, physically, sexually, and financially. It was all those above. People do not take abuse very serious. They feel that if it's not them or their people that is not going through abuse, don't talk about it, put it up on the rug. It's not our concern. It's not our problem. And it's a very harsh topic to speak on because people don't listen, or they don't have no compassion toward abusive a person that's been abused. I have many of years, and I'm telling you all because I feel where we're all trying to get to a bond. We all are coming together as a whole, as the Karen Arnold's world. I get teared up sometimes. As the Karen Arnold's world, and I want you all to come into my world. Besides just the smacking, slurping, and the burping and doing the mukbangs, I want you all to come deep into my world to let you all know who the Karen Arnold is, right? So, I went through abuse for 18 years. All the above that I told you all about just now. And I stayed in it I tried to get out of it when it got worse. Um, and I wanted to speak on, if you don't know anything about abuse, we shouldn't talk about it. We shouldn't put our mouth on the person that is going, sorry, y'all, the person that is going through abuse. We shouldn't call them names or they're bipolar, or because that person does not tell you their business, right? So we staple a stamp on them and call them some type of name because they're acting different at the moment, or they're not telling you what's going on, so you can go back and tell somebody else or add something else to the situation. So as I was going through abuse, I never did tell anybody. I had this one special friend, we're still friends today, and I would let her know some of the stuff that was going on. My family, I did not tell them nothing because some of my family members are, you know how family can be judgmental, or just some just don't care. So I kept most of the abuse to myself. My son and daughter, they seen a lot of it. It got really worse after they went off to college. Some of the stuff I can tell you all, some of the stuff I can't tell you all because it's going to be in the next 2 volumes of the book. So when the Lord puts stuff in my spirit that I can speak on it, then I tell you all what it is. Um, the trauma, and I'm jumping to different parts, but the trauma that I did not like is how I felt when I was going through it as well. You know, with abuse on top of it, and then you got family members that's maybe laughing or talking behind your back. You know, she's crazy. Ain't no way that I will let a man or a woman, you know, do me like this. Why's she doing this and why's she doing that? People don't realize when you are in abuse, your mind is manipulated. You get to a different space. The person tries to twist and marble the things that's in your mind. That way you would have all all eyes on that person. You would not allow nobody else to talk about the other person, the abuser. You would not do certain things that you know that would trigger the abuser. So, you know, we're going through all these different mood swings and stuff, you know, had to go by his tune, right? You know, I had family members that would say, "Oh, she's bipolar," if I, you know, would snap or felt a certain way. You know, when you're going through abuse and the abuser is already talking to you a certain way, you know, you don't want somebody else to talk to you like that. It triggers something. If you all understand what I'm saying, it triggers you. So when I was going through, you know, like I said, they would call me bipolar because I didn't tell them my business. They would catch me off guard and I would snap, you know, real quick because of what I have been through or encountering in my marriage. And as I sit back and as I've then got out of the abuse and got healed and delivered and set free, you know, and I sit back and I think about the people that laughed and called me names and stuff. It's woe unto them, you know. God would deal with them. You don't make a mockery or laugh at someone, whether it's a he or she that is going through abuse. You know, people say, well, how can a man be abused? A man can be abused just like a woman can. Maybe in different forms or in different ways, but they can be abused. Whether the woman or the man is financially draining them, that's abuse. Or whether they're verbally abusing the man, that's abuse. Is abuse. So I'm not on here to bash no man or no woman. I'm just here to talk about a topic of my truth of what I went through. This is my platform, so I speaking about me. I want you all to get a little closer to me so you all would know who the Karen Arnold is. I don't want to be just a platform where people would just stop by and click and then walk away, go to another one. When you all come to my platform, I want you all to be able to feel the meaning of the reason I did the video, or feel the meaning of the reason I say things what I say, or the meaning when I sell my merch. I want you all to know the meanings behind all of it. So, like I said, I would have people to laugh and call me, bipolar, because they would sit there and ask me what's going on, and I would tell them nothing, you know. But you have to watch how you treat people when people are down or when people are going through a storm. Um, you have to watch how you treat them, because it'll come back around on you. That karma, the karma is really quick. It's really bad. It's really harsh. And I don't never speak on something that I have not been through, whether like if it's a prostitute um, walking up and down the street, whether it's a he or she that's walking up and down the street that's getting into vehicles. I can't talk about them. I can't laugh at them because I've never been in this situation. I never knew or know what they're going through to get in that situation. People, they don't understand that people has bad luck sometimes, and they fall by the wayside, or someone's done tore them down and stomped on them where they cannot get back up, right? So we have to be mindful how we treat and talk to other people, because it could tear them down in ways that you never would have thought. It would tear them down in ways that you never knew that it was impossible for them to stand back up on their feet. There's a reason there's a lot of people that is out on the drugs and the alcohol, because they have been hurt in the past, or because they have been down and somebody just came along and stuck their foot back down on them more, kept pushing them down, 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 and they didn't have the strength or the courage of the movement to get back up. So I went through a lot of stuff, when people was, bashing me about my abuse, where I wouldn't leave my husband, or why I wouldn't go to different outings when they would go, or I didn't want to be bothered. I went through a lot. I went through a lot. And it took a lot to get myself back together after I came out of my abusive marriage for 18 years. It took a lot out of me. It drained me. I had to um, how would I put it? Restructure. I had to rebuild my mind frame over again, because I was tore down. I was manipulated. I was talked about. I was laughed at. I was hit. I was yelled at. I was all the above and more. Used to, I would have to, if I had done worked 40 to 60 to 80 hours a week, and when I get paid every 2 weeks, I would have to try to hide my check, due to I knew that it would be drunked up or drugged up. He would tear the house up, to get the check, to find it. Or if I had done had the cash and I done cashed it, he would tear everything up, to find where the money was at. It's a lot of times my checks was forged with my name on it, where he would go and take my ID, because people knew it was at a certain bank and they would cash my check. So he would take my ID and sign the check, and they would give him the check. But it's a lot of stuff that goes through your mind, because you wonder, what did I do to deserve this? What did I do to make him act like this? What did I do to make him feel a certain way? What did he do to try to accommodate me, or to make me feel safe, or make me feel like that I was loved, or I was a woman that it was his desire. And as I have came out, told my story, told some of my story, I still got 2 more volumes of the book to go. Came out with some of my story, speaking life into other women and men all over the nation. It healed me. It has delivered me and set me free. When you go through trauma, some people, they got to go through therapy for years and years and years to become the person, or a better person than what they was before. Um, I've prayed about it. God has delivered me, set me free, and he has manifested in my life um, the things that I knew now that I didn't know then. It would have been a whole totally different ball game. There's no way that I would have put up as much as I put up with. There's no way that I would try to save somebody that doesn't want to be saved. There is no way that I would allow anybody to tell me who I am and what my worth is. This is my life. This is your life. You don't allow nobody to tell you who you are and what your destination is and where you're going to go. You don't allow nobody to do that. So when I speak to women and men on the social media, we have to think about the mind frame, right? So you've got a whole body. All the limbs work, your feet work, your mind is working. And all of a sudden, your mind is tore down. It's manipulated. It's abused. It's attacked, right? So when your mind is like that, and your head is like chopped off, your arms is going to be going like this because they don't know which way to go, and your feet, they're going to be going in different directions. They don't know which way to go. So what I'm saying is, when the head is cut off, the whole body is untouchable. So the abuser would try to attack the mind, whether it's a man or woman. We're talking about either one, either or. They would try to attack their mind, to try to manipulate you, to make you feel like nobody loves you, make you feel like that you cannot do nothing, make you feel like that you don't deserve to have the best, make you feel like that, why am I here? Why am I here? And that's the way they want your mind to be, where you can't think for yourself. They don't want you to be in the presence of nobody else without him or she, because they're afraid you're going to set alarms off or tell someone that you're going through abuse, if that makes sense to you all. But I'm here just to tell you to stay strong, stay motivated, stay encouraged. Don't let nobody try to destroy your mind. If you are in abuse, ask you all to get out of it, whether it's a man or woman. If you are in abuse, you need to get out of it. They'll tell you, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, and never happen again. I love you. Don't nobody love you the way that I love you. Don't nobody love you the way I love you. That's full of crap, right? So I have to tell you all, the things that I know now, if I knew back then, I would not have stayed in my marriage. The alarms was right there before my eyes before I got married, and I didn't even do nothing about it. Lust took over. Lust is the one that allowed me to stay in a situation that I was young and dumb and didn't realize it. So on the behalf of a battered woman that survived, which is me, I survived it. Some is not able to tell it because they died in the mix of the abuse. God allowed me to tell it. He's allowed me to speak out, to be a voice for you and you and you and you if you cannot speak out. I'm here to tell you to hold on. Change is going to come. Today might not be like it is yesterday, or tomorrow won't be like the way it is today. I tell everybody that I come in contact with, do not ever, ever laugh at someone that has been through abuse or going through abuse. Try to understand what and how they feel. Pick them up and don't tear them down. Motivate them and encourage them. Research and try to get to and understand, why do people stay when they're in abuse? And you will be able to understand it more. You'll be able to be considerate more. You'll be able to be more loving toward a person that you know that is in abuse. I just wanted to stop by here and just give a little encouragement words to you all to hold your head up. Keep going and don't stop. You know, I love the Lord. I love the Father and His Son, because they are the one that saved me. They are the one that kept me when I almost died twice in my marriage. So to the ones that is on here that is going through the abuse, or don't know how to get out of it, or you're being judged for staying in something that they have no control over, you have no control over. Try your best to get out. Try your best to keep pushing and restoring your mind. And just keep going. Because it's going to be a change coming. It's going to be a wonderful change coming. But put you first in everything that you say and do. Put God first in everything that you say and do. And never let nobody validate who you are, who you're going to become, and where you're going to go. So until we meet again, this is the Karen Arnold's World. I just wanted to stop by to just share just a little testimony with you all, to let you all know that God is real. Abuse is real. Bondage is real. Hatred is real. It's real. But keep going and know that God is God. Be still and know God is able to do all things. In Jesus' name, we love you, and you. I love you all. Bye.